Hi, it's Richard. I just wanted to go over a little bit this breakfast in Fort Worth on the morning of November 22nd, 1963, because it's Rachel White and my contention that Jackie was involved in the hit, and she was late to the breakfast, and we feel that she was being given the final prep by the CIA for the hit. And when she arrived late, she came through the crowd, as you can see here, with Clint Hill leading the way. And she had her pink hat on, and that was a signal, because this was a local broadcast that morning around Dallas. That was a signal that the hit was a go. The hat was on. She was all ready to go. And after this breakfast, they flew straight to Love Field, and she got off and got in the motorcade. So she's all ready to go right now. They saw it on the closed circuit, and they also had a filler when she was late. And I want to play that for you. That introduces the fact that assassinations sometimes do happen, and because it talks about the one for President McKinley. So it's just it's beyond the point of odd that they use that as a filler on the local TV broadcast. I'm going to play that for you here in just a second. I'll see if I can get that going here. Let's see.
You'll have no doubt when he does arrive.
So they're waiting for Jackie to arrive,
When the president
and President Kennedy,
the cardinal rules of security. In fact, he
for the
broke it
breakfast.
3 times. He went out into the crowd, and of course, Secret Service men find this the most nervous time of any presidential appearance. As long as the Secret Service men can keep the crowd away from the president, they have a good chance of protecting him. But once he moves into a crowd, the Secret Service men are nearly immobilized in protecting him. Another rule is that anyone...
See, actually, they gave an introduction right there that if he's not protected, President Kennedy could be assassinated. And really, they could have done it at Love Field. I mean, this is a introduction that really prepares people for him being shot right there as he walked up through the crowd. But they didn't do it there. Although originally Love Field, Dealey Plaza, and the Trade Mart were all considered. So anyway, here I'll play some more.
Who approaches the president should have both hands visible and empty. And as you can tell in a crowd, there's no way to determine that. So whenever the president does move out into a crowd for handshaking and backslapping and exchanging pleasantries, he is always at the mercy of the crowd, and the Secret Service is at its least effective position. On September 6, 1901, those 2 rules were broken, and it ended in tragedy. That was the day that President William McKinley was appearing at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, and at a public reception, the crowd moved in around him, and the 3 Secret Service men who were guarding him had no chance to screen the people approaching him. Because it was a hot day, the Secret Service also allowed persons to have handkerchiefs in their hands to wipe their perspiring brows. It just so happened that one of the thousands of...
So see, he's prepping, the announcer's prepping the people watching this local broadcast that assassinations do happen, because it happened to President McKinley, and the Secret Service was involved. So sometimes the Secret Service can be involved when presidents are assassinated. And he's going to explain that McKinley was assassinated by a lone nut here very shortly. Here we go.
Handkerchiefs in that large hall covered a revolver in the hand of 28-year-old Leon Czolgosz. He was an unemployed mill worker. He said he was an anarchist. He was also was a man with a long history of mental illness. And as in many important occasions of the world, no one seemed to sense that anything different was going to happen. When McKinley reached out to shake Czolgosz's hand, it looked like a familiar scene. The scene of the President of the United States shaking hands with Fred Nobody. The assassin shattered that picture quickly. He slapped McKinley's hand away and fired 2 shots point blank. In an instant, McKinley's attacker was driven to the floor. As the president was being helped to a chair, McKinley murmured, "Don't let them hurt him." 7 days later, McKinley was dead. Oddly enough, the assassination attempt was staged in the Temple of Music, quite an ironical note, and there was a quiet Bach sonata being played in the background when the two fatal shots rang out. Now here comes...
So he's introduced the fact that assassinations do happen. They happen to McKinley. There was a Bach sonata playing in the background. So these conspirators behind this President Kennedy's assassination, they had a view of everything. They were prepping the American people here, starting to get them used to the facts that assassinations happen. This was just at the breakfast that morning, just a couple hours before they killed him. And it's our contention, Rachel White and mine, that Jackie was part of it and she was being prepped. But anyway, this was the filler when she and JFK were late to the breakfast.
Vice President Johnson, Governor Connally, Senator Ralph Yarborough, Congressman Jim Wright, State Senator Don Kennard. But still, the president has not arrived. You may have heard the drums roll in the background in anticipation of it. When the president walks in, they will play Hail to the Chief. And now we expect any moment now the president to enter the hall. Point, we can see a flurry of activity by Secret Service men in the kitchen, so we assume that as soon as the head table is seated, that is Governor Connally, Vice President Lyndon Johnson, Senator Yarborough, and State Senator Don Kennard, and Congressman Jim Wright, the president will enter the ballroom. Serviceman, who is one of the key operators here, has just stepped into the kitchen, so we assume he is preparing the way for the president. He was due to arrive in the ballroom at 9 o'clock, and if my watch is correct, it's now 9:10, so he's running about 10 minutes behind schedule. Just what effect this will have on the length of his speech, we do not know. As we said earlier, normally in such instances, the speech is tailored to fit the time available, and there's not much time available. Here comes the president.
Okay, there he is. Okay, but he's without Jackie. Okay, so Jackie still doesn't arrive for an additional 20 minutes. And it's my contention that she was being prepped for the assassination. So here, let's skip forward here 20 minutes later when Jackie does arrive. Let's see here. It's about right here. There she is. Okay, so now she's arriving. See, she's got the pink pillbox hat on with Clint Hill in front of her, and they can see, everybody can see her on the local broadcast, so that they know that the hit's a go because the hat is on. Okay, so there she was. Okay, now here we'll just go over a few more things here. Okay, so here she is coming in with Clint Hill, like we were just looking at in black and white. The pink suit, the hit's a go. She's been prepped. David Morales was one of the ones who prepped her. David Morales said in the 70s, I explained that in my other videos and in my book, Takedown, Rachel's book and mine, that David Morales said in the 70s that Jackie was involved in the hit. We can see him down on Houston and Maine waving to Jackie. She puts her hand to the hat. So that was, the hat was a signal that it was a go. Okay. So here she is coming in. Here she is. When she got up on stage, she immediately went up and cozied up to President Johnson, and this is all part of as the American public is watching the local broadcast, it's getting them used to the fact that Lyndon Johnson is a suitable successor before they've shot him, okay? And they're showing this on TV, okay? So, I mean, here I have this collage here. It says, Jackie Kennedy was very late to the Fort Worth breakfast because she was being prepped by David Morales, CIA, DIA, and the Illuminati conspirators for the JFK assassination. Her hat being on was the go signal. It was on live TV broadcast and could be seen anywhere in Dallas. All the top-level handlers knew it was on. Jackie had the power. All she had to do was take off their hat anywhere along the motorcade route, and it was an abort. Jackie had the power of life and death over JFK. All she had to do was take it off. The narrator filled in the void with an intro about the assassination of President Kennedy, President McKinley, and prepped the American people. Assassinations were common. The media was complicit, had prior knowledge, and was showing the assassination go signal on live TV. Jackie arrived late with Secret Service agent Clint Hill and paraded by the cameras. The JFK hit was on. It was a go. Okay, here they are coming in live on KRLD TV, Channel 4 in Dallas, Fort Worth. You can see it on YouTube the morning of November 22nd. Narrator prepped the viewers' assassinations happened. And the Secret Service has been involved in the past. President McKinley, they explain how that was done to President McKinley. Here she is coming in with Clint Hill again. They are coming in. Here she is going up on the stage and immediately goes up to President Johnson, just completely ignores President Kennedy. There, as you can see. She was already cozying up to the successor before President Kennedy was shot. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show right now.